Welcome to another episode of DD on the Spot. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. And before I get to our guest, well, first of all, you should recognize our guest. It's Michelle. She's back on the podcast again. She recently won another bodybuilding show to add on to all the other ones that she's won. So she's on here. We'll talk to her a little bit about that and just kind of get an update on what it's like or what it's been like the last few months for her since we last talked. But first, I got to say, what is the weather like in Las Vegas today?
It's so nice. It has just a little bit of coolness at night and in the mornings. Right now it's sunny, it's clear sky, it's about 77. And it's just that perfect time that everybody like talks about like, oh, I love Halloween and autumn and go pumpkin spice and Starbucks and stuff. So this is the time that everyone puts their sweaters on and just kind of, gets ready for the cold weather, but it's perfect right now.
And when I say cold weather, I got to put an asterisk marks by that for Las Vegas for cold weather. But yeah, I mean, no, it's apple picking season right now. It's everyone's getting ready to start. Everyone's gonna have these huge leaf piles by their house. But you recently won another show. What was that like? And was your preparation any different for this show as opposed to all the other shows that you've done?
The last time I talked to you, I won overall in the Jay Cutler.
I
That
believe
was
so.
correct,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So August 18th, I did a new organization, brand new, came to Vegas called the World Physique Championship, WPC. I won overall in that one. And then 3 weeks later, I did the first inaugural Ace of Stage from Samson Productions. He's the head MPC judge. He has also the Samson Showdown. And I did that one recently, which was September 7th, and I got first place in both my classes. And so, yeah, I have been just kind of going back and forth with having some good luck, good timing, all of that stuff. I think it's all about me going with my own flow, not following any trends, not following any diets, listening to my coach, having a good support team, kind of be I know this sounds weird, but be a loner, not a boner. I'm a one-man band. So I meal prep differently every time. I do cardio differently every time. I wake up and do my training and warm-ups and everything to the minute I fall asleep differently every single prep. Um, but ultimately, I want to grow my legs. I want to grow my arms. I just don't want to be in a rate where my body is getting hurt. I want to have a sustainable um, approach on this without having it be detrimental.
So what made this prep different from all the other ones since said you like to mix it up for every prep?
So this last prep, I literally had no diet restrictions, no food restrictions. I didn't eat out at restaurants at all, but I was always very solid on like, and mind you, I don't weigh my meals and I don't count calories and I don't do that kind of strict deal. But this time I was able to have creamer in my coffee and I was able to eat pretty much anything I wanted as long as it wasn't from a restaurant. So for this diet plan, I said, I don't want to be too hard on myself. I just gotten out of a show and I said, let's just have a maintenance program. Let's just follow through with some easy overall workouts. Let's not try and grow at all. Let's just have a sustainable good time and see how you flow with just having a maintenance cycle.
And I like we've said before, I mean, it really just is, you're just concocting different things I mean, it really is just like you're experimenting on yourself to find out what works best for you. But when it comes to the posing aspect, did you change anything up with your posing? Any different techniques or anything with your routine? Was anything different?
So WPC, which was August 18th, they have a T-walk and they were open to you can wear whatever type of bikini, you can wear whatever type of jewelry, any kind of shoes, and it was more like a beauty pageant. So they were like, you can choose any song you want. You had 30 seconds to do a T-walk. And I was so nervous to that because with bodybuilding, you're just used to posing and holding a stance. And this judging is based on marketability and physique, yes, but how you give allurement to the crowd. And it was live on Cox and it was filmed and televised. So that was such a different approach to posing for me. And that routine really gave me a lot of confidence. It really gave me an approach like, wow, I am a sexy woman. I'm not just a buff chick on stage. So when I went around 3 weeks later and I did the NPC, um, Ace of Stage, which I love the NPC community in Vegas. It's just a huge community. Um, I went back to the really, really holding your hard stance. And I was so blessed to get first place and Masters 35 Class C and Open. And again, it was just, let's see how I do in both categories. One is more like a beauty pageant, and then back to what I was originally used to, mind shifting both of those, still having the same training, different mindset. Um, Ultimately, I didn't want to lose anything. I wanted to keep my body full and still have defined arms, but ultimately, like, please forgive me, Ryan, but my butt is growing so big. Like I like the girls who love the booty implants nowadays. I'm like, man, just do my calf exercise every day because my quads and my legs I'm trying to grow significantly, but now it's all going in my butt. And I'm like, it's not a bad thing.
I
It's
was gonna say
just
that's
like
a nice problem to
it's
have.
not a bad thing. It's just when you want to look down and see those separations in your legs. I'm just they call it the strangulation lines. And I'm just like, why is it all in my butt? So funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to see that and just to see that that's, definitely an area that's really taking off. But how did you celebrate your win? What did you go out and what did you have to eat?
Oh, okay. So buns of steel is these little bun cakes and they ship them to you. And they have like cookie butter and they had red velvet and they had lemon poppy seed. Oh, they're so good. I had that. What else did I have? I've been eating tons of Mexican food, tons of guacamole. Moly, moly, moly. Holy moly, lots of guacamole. But no chips, lots of salsa on my salad, lots of fajitas. And you know what's funny, Ryan, is I'm not eating any meat. I'm only eating fish.
What type of fish is your preferred type to eat?
Any kind, all kinds.
Well, then I was gonna say, come up to Minnesota. Yeah, we got fried walleye at our baseball stadium. I mean, it's just, oh, we have every type of thing that.
I actually had that at the El Cortez. That was a special just the other day.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I've caught a few walleye myself, and I've had them to eat, and yeah, it's not that bad. But I gotta say, yeah, I could never eat just all Mexican food because my Norwegian Scandinavianish. I mean, that's what I do for weight loss. If I wanted, lose some weight, you eat Mexican.
Really?
Well,
Wow.
everything would come out though. It would just be, yeah. Without giving out too much, yeah, I would lose, yeah, I would just lose, 40 pounds overnight. Then basically, I'll just put it that way. It would be coming out, for the front and the back, basically. But yeah,
Oh my
it's
god.
yeah, I can't eat Mexican food. I've tried it, and it just doesn't sit well with me. But when it comes to the working out aspect, how do you like to mix things up? Because one of the things that I love to talk about on this podcast too is the plateau effect that can happen. If you stick to a routine for too long, is there a certain amount of time that you like to stick with a certain routine before you try to like to mix things up?
So the thing that I'm mixing up, it's very difficult for me to say, but when I'm with my coach, I really effing push myself hard, like pushing myself. And I've had to actually watch out from training with my coach too much because I push so hard with my coach that I have just such a hard time recovering. And since I love to wake up early, early, like 4 a.m. early, um, I have a gym here I can go work out, but I love to go to the gym and go drive there and watch the sunrise and do my morning cardio. So what I'm saying is like what I'm changing up, unfortunately, is I have to take a step back and train with my coach maybe once or twice a week, where I was regularly training with him 4 to 5 days a week. And it sucks because we miss each other. But he is like, "You keep texting me and then talking about, like, you're not feeling well, and I don't take excuses very well, and that's what a coach does." But I'd had to explain to him, and it's not only pushing myself really hard, it's all the other people around me that I'm like, I just wanna be alone and crush it and freaking put on my bandana and not wear a bra and just be like, I have no makeup on, and so that's the one thing that I'm really trying to balance out is I miss my fitness family, I miss my coach, but I'm growing more when he says you need to rest. And for me, resting is sometimes working out by myself. And it sucks, but it's okay. I'm starting to understand it because I'm getting bigger. I'm able to recover faster. I'm not getting sick as often. Like when you push it so hard, you're like, "Oh my god, I have to lay down or I have to rest or I have to sleep more." Basically, I don't have any of that. I basically and that's this is another thing, Ryan. I'm going to bed and I make fun of myself all the time to my friends. My bedtime's 8 p.m. I gotta go to bed. I gotta put on my onesie and tuck myself in and drink my warm cup of milk. No, really, I go to bed at 8. I wake up at 4 every morning. It's the best feeling ever, and I feel like an old person. Yeah, I feel like you are such a loner. But it's like this revigorating feeling that I'm like, this is a new day. And when I wake up and it's dark, I'm like, what the heck's on your mind that you need to get off? So when the sun rises, I'm like, okay, here's your day. Time to get to it. And then that way I've like felt so accomplished and I feel so great. I have way more time. I have way more focus. And I'm able to exert and exhaust myself over a period of maybe 2 hours of working out alone, taking my breaks, drinking tons of water, versus training with my coach back to back to back to back for an hour. So it's kind of like you're asking what I'm doing differently. I'm doing less and I'm seeing more.
I can say I would never go to bed that at least at this age, I could never do it. I mean, by the time you're getting up is by the time I'm going to sleep most nights.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Did it take you a while to adjust to that, or was it something that it just took really quick for you to just get into that sleep schedule?
I always thought, like, what's wrong with you? You're waking up so early. There must be something wrong with you. Or like I would say, oh, I have insomnia. But it's like, no, my internal clock, I wake up 5 or 6 a.m., no problem. And when I mean, and this is the thing that's different, is like when I wake up, I don't like wake up and you're like you right now, you're like, okay, let me get this ready. Let me hold on a second. Hi, Michelle. You ready? When I when I wake up without even having to drink coffee, I'm like, "Ding, ding, 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 ding." People are like, "What is wrong with you? Something's wrong with this girl." And that's how I am until about 4 or 5 p.m.
Yep. No, yep, no, and I'm gonna be completely honest though. This is one thing that I've only admitted once on this podcast. I never drink coffee. I've drank coffee probably about twice my entire life.
Mhm.
I'm one of those weird people where I can, and when I say yeah, whenever I call people, everyone, yeah, I'm still waking up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I woke up about half an hour ago, and then yeah, so I'm still getting up a little bit, but yeah, I just find that so fascinating. Just the getting up at 4 a.m. I mean, again, that's something.
I mean, sometimes, yeah, I'll wake up at 6, but I have my parrots, and my parrots wake up at the crack of dawn, and they're hungry, and they want attention, and then my dogs, they want their walk, and so I have to give them their walk. So there's all of these routines that I've kind of built into saying, "Okay, we're up. Let's get our day going. Take out the trash, do the laundry, do the dishes. What do you have to do? Let's do this."
So what do your parents think about having a daughter that wakes up at 4 a.m.?
My dad does the same thing. My mom does the same thing. I text my mom every morning at 6 a.m. Good morning, mom. Sometimes she beats me to it. And my dad's the same way. He's like, the surf is good, and sends me a thumbs up. I'm like, that's good, Dad. It's 4:30. Don't call me. You can text me. I want my me time.
Oh god, yeah, that's that's awesome. But when it comes, have you changed up your cardio at all to try to, get a more lean look, or what are you doing at with cardio wise?
So my coach wants me to do the recumbent bike, and I love the Stairmaster. I don't really like. I've not touched the treadmill, not touched elliptical. Um, will not lie, knees are a little sore because I love the Stairmaster. I mean, and I'll go at a pace like 5 or 6, which is pretty slow. And I got to give my knees a rest. And so I am going to take like a phase of, and that's hard to say. I'm going to say like 5 months after this show until my next one. My next one is in November, November 2nd, the Steve Carr Classics. And then I'll probably take about 4 to 5 months break. And for now, my coach just wants me to do the recumbent bike. He said it's great, just build those quads, just don't kill your knees. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing cardio wise. I've never done the recumbent bike ever, which is going to be interesting. It's my own little human science experiment.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you are getting bigger, are you thinking at all maybe of eventually moving up a division, or do you like where you're at right now?
Okay, so the last time I saw you was July, and I'm the same size. Like, okay, same size. See, I'm not really any.
I think you might have
I,
gotten a little bit
yeah,
bigger. I don't know.
it's just maintenance. I would say that I'm just not as lean. I think the last time I saw you, I was 122, and now I'm 125, 126. So bigger, no. I'm still like that lean girl at 5'5" that's just like I look like a bikini girl, but still thicker with curves and muscle. So no, I won't move up, but I have been enjoying modeling. That's been fun. And being free on being able to eat not like whatever I want, but a raw, clean diet, eating as much as I want. Areas in my body, like my butt, is growing. My arms are a little more softer. So I still have the abs. They're just not like so shredded, which is good because that was something that the coaches, my coach and judges were always saying, like, you look great and you're doing very well, but you're just so lean. And everyone kind of progresses like, so where are you going to go with pro? When are you going to get your pro card? How long? So for me, physique, no. Pro, I want to take as long as I can to just be on a very healthy, sustainable level. And I don't care how long that takes because I'm not in a rush, you know, at all. Like I'm just taking my time, enjoying life.
Well, and that's awesome because we have so many people on the show that they might have rushed onto things a little bit and then they realize that, hey, I'm not able to sustain this lifestyle that I've made where everything is just so hardcore all the time. Where yeah, if you just take it at your own pace, I think that's going to be a lot healthier and it's going to be a lot more beneficial for you as well.
I
But
agree.
when it comes to this, could you maybe elaborate a little bit more, like when you said like a healthy lifestyle of eating, but you're also eating more of what you want? How much do you put into what you want to eat as opposed to what you need to eat? Is it like 100% what you want to eat, or do you still have to allow yourself, the very healthiest of options?
No, I mean, I still eat out at restaurants twice a day. I just have my egg whites. And then when I go out a second time, I'll have a salad with chicken. Um, I eat whatever I want. I'm not on a restricted diet program. But yes, when it comes down to competing and you want to look lean and shredded, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So again, I always talk about inflammation and I always talk about like what is not giving you digestive issues, what is not causing you to have heartburn or elevated blood pressure or things of that nature. So that's where now I'm eating just fish. of all sorts because fish is easily digestible. It's a lean protein. I can eat as much of it as I want. And for me, yeah, like people are like, well, doesn't fish like suck? I'm like, yeah, well, fish sucks, but you got to be creative. Like, I love my air fryer. That's the one thing that I've changed up these last two shows is I put all my meals in the air fryer and it comes out so it smells the aroma of it throughout the house and I can smell the food and then eating it. And so yeah, I think for me it's just like when I want to have ultimate freedom, that's when I put ketchup and dressings and oil and all that stuff. And then when I want maintenance, I curb back on that. And then when I'm cutting into like competition mode, then I will cut my nuts off and just have almonds instead of the cashews and macadamia nuts and pistachios and peanuts and oh, roasted peanuts, they're so good. Um, I have been eating tons of dehydrated fruit lately. I will eat a bundle of dehydrated banana. Just I cut bananas up in little slices and I'll eat that in literally a day. And I'm like, wow, I just had a so yeah.
I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we are in October, so that means you are a month away from this show. What is it going to be looking like the next 4 or 5 weeks getting ready for the show? Are you going to take away any foods, or are you going to stay with this diet for the whole time down to the show?
I'm gonna stay exactly like this until the show, literally. I mean, I'm gonna cut out the dehydrated fruit and so for me it's maintenance, but I want my fullness to be in my back and my arms because when I get down to peak week, I do see the leanness come in my arms and I want to keep that fullness. So instead of really pushing my legs like I did last time, it was a lot of legs and abs. I wake up every morning and now instead of just doing fasted cardio, I'm working on my back and I'm doing those elevated pull ups with the big rubber band. And I really like doing pulses. I feel like if I do things like, yes, I'll do like 100 regular assisted pull ups with the rubber band. But I also feel like if I kind of do it in another way and I do pulses, I feel like it activates a certain area of my back that I'm curious to see how that will be. And so I'm doing also a lot of back rows. I think that's what it is. When you take the dumbbell and you curl it up, and because back rows, I also take the barbell and I do a lot of whatever those are. I'm you know these things. I'm horrible with definitions of exercises. That's why I'm not a personal trainer.
So are you one of those people that would rather, get the workout done real nice and quickly, or you'd want to take your time then and take as much time as possible, or do you just like to get things done super quickly?
No, I definitely like to take my time and not rush because you are here for a reason. Don't deny the fact that this is your time and don't take it for granted and rush through life and go to the next thing and the next thing because that's ultimately where I feel like a lot of us can't stay in the now present moment. We're on to the next and the next and the next and we're caught up in this lifestyle regime that social media I feel like really creates where bigger is better. We got to get it now and we got to go, go, go. We got to get more and more and we need to make more money and we need more stuff and we need bigger muscles. And it's like, I just like maintenance. I like just simple balance. I don't necessarily like change. I'm willing to negotiate and sacrifice things in order to see change because that can bring better and bigger things, like opening new doors when you close other ones. But I also see like I just perceive life like I am in this gym to work out, to celebrate life at its best. And ultimately, if it's me giving off energy to these women in the women's section and I don't even talk to them, that's something that might be provided because they see me working out. I see them working out. And I like to be social. I am introverted and I want to be more extroverted. And that's what fitness helps me do. And I want to see what else my body can do and create. So I've been working with, you're going to laugh your butt off, but I've been working with the world's first pole fitness instructor. Her name's Fania Monday. She owns Pole Fitness Studio, which is an amazing club that or it's a studio that's been here for about 20 years. And she's now coming back to bodybuilding after 10 years, and I'm helping her pose. So we're going through all the motions of posing and stature and confidence and posture and breathing and everything. And that's something maybe I can make into helping other women is posing. So yeah, I know I go on a tangent. Excuse my ADD.
No, no problem at all. Believe me,
You're
this
like,
is
why do you like to work out? And I'm like 10 minutes later, I'm
no,
like, because
no.
I want to
I always,
change the
I always tell, I always
world.
tell people it's like I feel like I'm the second string quarterback. It's the best. I just get to sit and relax, and I get to have my recuperation when you're talking. So yeah, no worries at all. Keep going on and on. I mean, I always say
I know I'm
my
like,
no, I had one guest. Okay, so I had one guest who I asked the first question of, so what really inspired and what really motivated, your health and fitness journey. 38 minutes later, I got a word in 38 minutes. So I timed it and I said, so literally
you're like,
we're at the 38 minute mark
oh,
from
we're still here.
we're at
Oh,
the 38-minute
we're
mark from
back.
when I first called you. So that would literally be like if once we started and then you stop. Like I literally told, I was like, okay, that's the greatest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. I was like, this is gonna be a
That's so
brief.
funny.
So yeah, so no,
Because
no,
you could have taken a shower, you could have brushed your teeth, you probably could have gone poo poo and made a cup of coffee, or you don't drink coffee. You could have done a lot of things in 38 minutes.
I could have, I could have basically typed a paper. I could have done so much in that time. But yeah, I take as much time as you need. But but
My concern.
like obviously you have a show coming up in November, and then you said you're gonna take some 5 months off from that to just rest and recuperate before you think about competing again. But is there a date set in mind? Like you said, you want to take things a little bit slow, but is in your ultimate goal, is there a date that you have for when you want to try to get your pro card? Is there like an end all goal, or is there like a day where you're like, I would like to have it by then?
Well, I mean, I was going to go, I have planned. So, this upcoming show in November, two overall winners get their registration paid to a pro qualifying show in Miami. There's also the possibility of the Caribbean Grand Prix that is December 7th. But Ryan, there's that ultimate thing called money that, I just have to sit here and say, I love doing this. It's so much fun. But there's only so much I can do until the first of the month comes around or the end of the month, and you're like, mm,
Believe me, you're talking.
we all have to go through that. And I am, and I will admit this, I am one of the cheapest women on earth. Literally.
Yep.
No, it's okay.
No, hey,
It is. It's true. I am making an electric bike right now, so I can save money on gas because I am cheap.
okay, so no, because so that starts a whole different
Cheap,
topic.
cheap, 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 cheap,
So that
cheap.
starts a whole new topic. How are you making an electric bike?
It's buying the parts and it's circuit wiring it all together on a bike that I've had forever because I'm too cheap to buy a new one and I don't want to pay the money to it's like $4,000 for an electric bike. Mine's like 600
That's a steal. That's so how
because
fast you
I
want
made
this?
it.
How fast are you trying to make this bike go?
It'll go like 12 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour.
I was gonna say I have one of those electric scooters that I got when I was like 12, and I still ride it around every once
I
in a while. Where they,
Okay, so I'm gonna wear my big helmet with my glasses on my electric bike and do an IG story and tag you in it.
okay, then I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll for sure watch it. Then
And
it's
then
gonna be
you
great.
can be like, "Wow, she's awesome."
Yeah.
And I'll run by and go like, "All right, I'm cheap.
Yep.
Bye."
No. Yep. That sounds like a plan. But
So yeah, competing to me, it's expensive.
oh, well, yeah,
It is
and plus
expensive.
you're talking to someone who's just about to move out of his
Really?
parents' house in about a month. So yeah, I completely understand the financial aspect of that. But yeah,
The financial aspect of life.
oh, that too. And I mean, I always say so many people think that these bodybuilders make money, but it couldn't be further from the truth. They're
Well, and everyone's like, "When are you going pro?" And I'm like, "When I go pro is when I figure out how to make a sustainable living off of what I'm doing without getting burnt out on making what I love into a career, if that makes sense."
which is
You love,
why I don't monetize this podcast, because if I were to make that
thank
into a
God.
career, then I would start hating it, because then I'd feel like, oh my god, I have to make a certain amount a week. I have to do this certain amount of times. Where now that I
Well,
just do it.
and I'm not, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, well, like, and then once I get to a certain point where then I would get so nervous and like editing these videos where it's like, oh my god, it's got to be perfect so that everyone loves it. Where now, I can just be like, hey, I'm gonna do the best that I can in making these videos as good as possible. But yeah, just that extra added pressure I think would really ruin things. But yeah, so I totally understand where you just like, yeah, you want to make this, you want to make the health and fitness thing your thing to make money wise, but then you also don't want to do it where everything just becomes so stressed out where it doesn't become fun for you and you don't see that as a positive outlet anymore.
So many of my teammates and my friends, more people on my fingers and toes, have gone in the fitness industry as a personal trainer and have come out saying, I hate it. I hate this. I'm not doing this anymore. This is not for me. And personally, yeah, I have a Saturday morning sassy boutique boot camp class at my house. Sassy. And it's boutique because it's only up to 5 girls. And I it's $15 because it's not about the money. Why are you laughing? What are you laughing at me?
I love that Sassy Boutique. It's a great name.
Well, you know why?
Yeah.
Because this is our runway.
Ooh.
See, ooh, sassy.
Got a little runway for him too. That's
Wait,
nice. Yeah.
I got the heels. See, now you laugh because you're like, I'm so jealous.
I'm so yeah. I wish.
Girls have so much fun.
Yep, they
But
have
yes,
so
they come
much.
over, sassy. We work out with my resistant bands that are for sale on my website. And
Leave a link to those down
after,
below.
thank you. And after they work out with my bands, which I love seeing because I have resistant bands for the arms and booty bands for the legs, then we put on our heels and we do high heel confidence. It's a heart. Do you see the heart?
I never realized that. Yeah.
And the girls come over and it's not about money, it's about having fun and beating depression and anxiety, and all of girls just want to have fun. And so my friend Fania that owns Pole Fitness saw that and was like, I need to come over. And she brought her baby. She had just had a baby 10 months ago. And now I was like, let me help you. I'm going to help you all the way across the board. And now she's going to do a competition. She came over here and she did the whole, like, my 4 week, I guess, high heel confidence workshop I did in 1 hour for her. And she was like, yeah, this may work. So that's where my future's going. Like, how can I build an income doing something I'm really good at, which, hey, if I build a really great butt and a good strut, I'm going to make a workshop and make it work, because obviously the owner of this fitness studio is coming back after 10 years and having me teach her how to pose. And I'm like, I'm just going to let things flow. I'm not going to put my finger on it. If I get my pro card along the way, which of course it's going to happen, I'm just not going to sit here and like force it.
Well,
No.
if you ever do teach like an arm class, you got to call it "Girls Just Want to Have Guns." That's the best. That's the best
You
thing
know
to call.
what?
Yeah. See, I got the names. I got the names down for
Right.
everything. I had a friend in college who she used to do like those like at Lifetime she'd do the classes. It would be like a guns and buns class is what she called it.
Oh,
So and I gave her so much crap for that like all the time. I'd be like, "Oh, when's your
oh,
next
that's
guns and
so
buns class?"
fun. I love the
But
name though.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know there are some really good names to have for that, but
Hmm.
I mean, just this whole this brings us into a whole topic because like I said, what we were talking about before with the fitness industry, yes, so many people they come into it with just the purest of intentions, but then it sort of just rips their soul out because I
Yep.
mean, they're just devoting so much time to it where it really just takes up so much of their lives. So that's why when so many people, when I have some of these guests on and then they hear that they have like other occupations where they're like, oh, they're a lawyer or oh, they do something else. A lot of people are like, well, why don't they just take it into that fitness route? Because like the reasons that we're talking about right now, where I mean, if you want it to be your passion, for so many people, their passion can turn out to be their nightmare because they overdo it. Where I mean, it's for some people the right choice is to just have it be a side hobby where hey, they go and they work out every day, but they have their regular jobs. So it's just such an important thing that I love to talk about because I mean, so many people just don't realize that hey, if you love doing this, sometimes doing that as your career is not going to make you love it as much. So
I almost feel like, look at the avenue of what you love, but look at all the side businesses that people do around it, like the spray tanning and the makeup and the hair and the posing and the suits and the personal training and the meal prep people and the list goes on and on and on. And I look at all of those other areas and I'm like, keep your eyes open, just kind of look around and, you know. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people get so burnt out because they overexert their passion so much that that whole fundamental thing of enjoying what you do and keeping it balanced becomes unbalanced. And next thing you know, they have 3 businesses and they're working 12 to 14 hours and they're running around and they may make good money or not, but before you know it, they're exerted and exhausted and adrenals are fatigued and they're unhealthy and they can't find that balance. Or maybe it's in their family, or maybe it's in their relationship, or maybe it's somewhere where they almost feel jolted, like I have to find and seek myself more and I need time in order to do that. So being in the gym for me is time that I can find more about myself to help others and not put a price tag on that, not be chasing money, not chasing the dollar for that. This is all, we're all finding ourselves. Life is one big game, isn't it? It's all about solving the puzzle.
Absolutely. And I'm
You
going to
know,
spoil something really big for everyone. Money does not buy happiness. I mean, I know people hear that all
no.
the time, but believe me, some of these people that you might see, especially like on Instagram, who, they might be making a ton of money, they might have a ton of followers. I've talked to some of them and they talk about, like, hey, it's a very lonely lifestyle, especially when you make this your life, because you have to constantly be making content, you have to constantly be updating things. I mean, even me with this podcast alone and my other job, that my normal job that I have, I mean, my free time is very limited. I've had to sacrifice a lot, and I still, try to work out, like 3 or 4 times a week in and out that myself. So it is not everything is always as it seems when it comes to that. So yeah.
You asked me the last time you interviewed me, like, what is the one thing you would tell your 18-year-old self? And I was like, don't do it for the money,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know? So yeah,
No.
yeah, I definitely just, I love life right now. It's so good. And I want to just keep this momentum going and not try and put some crazy changes on it.
Well, you better love life being in Las Vegas during the winter. Good God, jeez.
It is nice, but I will say it is kind of a concrete jungle. I mean, you do have
Mhm.
Red Rock and Mount Charleston and stuff, but the lights and the tourism and, you know, the bright
Mhm.
lights, big city. It's like, I want to go where the big hills and the grass and the cows go moo.
Yeah, come up to Minnesota then during the summer then, basically, if you wanna see cows and big grass then. But
Yeah,
I've always wanted to ask this for someone that does live in a tourist destination. Is that a hard thing to get used to, the fact that you're
it
dealing with just a lot
is.
of tourists, as opposed to, like, if
Yes.
we're here, I mean, we have the Mall of America, which is the biggest mall in the country, but that's on the other side of town, and so I rarely, if ever, see any tourists. Is that just a weird adjustment?
You really have to find your niche in the way you make money because some people are geared towards tourism and hospitality and their business is geared towards that. And other people are just their mom and pop regular mobile dog groomer or
Mhm.
something. And yeah, like I love people watching. I like to go somewhere with a cup of Joe and just sit there and just people watch and not say anything and then go back home and be like, okay. And
Okay,
you can do that anytime in Vegas,
I'm not
anytime.
gonna lie. I am a huge, like, I'm the one guy at, like, if we go to a bar or whatever, I just watch people come in and out. I
Oh
just
yeah.
I
Yeah. You're
yeah.
that awkward person that doesn't need to say a word.
Yeah. No, yeah, and then people are like, "Oh my god, like, what is wrong with you?" It's like, "Are you
You're
having
like, why
fun?"
is she
Well,
smiling?
well,
What's
no, yeah,
wrong with
yeah, and
you?
then yeah,
Are
and then
you
they're
not
like,
having fun?
yeah, yeah, that's what they say. They're having fun. I'm like, I'm actually having a blast. I love. I was like, I could just sit. I could just stay in a corner the whole time with just my arms crossed, whatever, and just watch people
That's
come in.
what Vegas is perfect for.
Yeah.
But I do miss the beaches and the grassy hills and like, you know, like we're we were in California the other day driving down the freeway and the freeway had like just grass and trees and shrubs all the way. I'm like, wow, look at all this green. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's landscaped here beautifully in Vegas. Like, yes, I do have grass and palm trees and stuff, but you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Yep. Well, I guess being that you're in Las Vegas, and I was a history minor in college. But have you ever visited the Pawn Stars place?
Oh, I drive by it every day. I'll drive by it and I will tag you in a video on Instagram stories because it's on the way to Gene's new go-kart track, which is downtown on Fremont Street. It's a 15,000 square foot electric go-kart track, and these are fast. They are drift go-karts. So it's a really, really cool drifting, and it's indoors. We're looking for GMs and cashiers if anyone's interested. But yeah, right down the street is the Golden Nugget. And this guy hit me up on Instagram that broadcasts for ESPN. And I'm like thinking, Brian,
Yeah.
Brian Johnson.
Okay, I'm going to say this on this podcast. Sometime during the winter, I will come down there, probably after the holidays in like January, February, when it gets to the dog days of winter. I will be down there.
It'll be cheap.
No,
hotels will be cheap then.
This will be a promise, everyone. I will go down there and I will visit and I will get on it. A pinky promise, yeah, pinky promise. We're connecting pinkies. Yeah, on Didi on the spot. I am promised I will be down there in Las Vegas, and I will. Yeah, that will be a lot of fun, especially escaping the cold, harsh.
On the spot.
Yeah, and we can film like a workout together, or something like that too. Then we can see how I can deal with that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I always yeah.
No, I was just thinking like, okay, you have to have like leg warmers, and you got to have a big headband, and yeah,
I'll wear anything as long as I can get out of the negative 30 degrees that
we'll have to like
we'll
cut
have to
your
deal
tank so you can rip it like the Hulk.
Yeah,
do something like those.
Something like that. Yeah, we can do.
I think we should spray tan you. Remember how you asked me what is the spray tan? You're like, my white butt. And I'm like, we got to do half and half. Half of Ryan's spray tan.
We can do something like that. I guess we can try to do something like that. But. Yeah, we'll see.
That.
So everyone, yeah, you have a Didi on the spot promise sometime probably in
first time.
Yeah. Oh. Yep. So yeah. So you have a promise.
But no, I think better yet, we got to get you some chicks. We got to take you to like the Gold Digger nightclub.
The Gold Digger nightclub.
Yeah, and I want to take you to Mike Hammer. He's a magician comedian at the Four Coins.
His name is Mike Hammer.
And he'll bring you on stage.
His name is Mike Hammer.
I'm like, we got to get a hooker to hit on you. We have to have some freak Fremont Street performers like the Topless Nun come and give you a hug.
the Topless Nun?
We have to spray tan you. Take you to Pawn Stars drunk.
Okay. I'm down for that.
Or on coffee, because you don't drink coffee, so we gotta. Why am I saying it like coffee? Like I'm from the Minnesota and the coffee. Yeah. And you gotta race Gene's go-karts, most importantly.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down for about 75% of that. We'll see what the 25.
I mean,
it's a package deal, I guess. Yeah.
And the ESPN guy at the Gold Digger or Gold Nugget, which is.
I was gonna say if the ESPN guy's at Gold Digger, I don't know.
No, I was thinking is the Gold Digger nightclub inside the Gold Nugget because that makes sense. Hence with the gold.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it's all there. It's all waiting for you. Come on down.
So again, you guys, I think that's a perfect way to end it is by me saying, I will come there in Vegas and we can film all that stuff too. And then I pinky promise. So late January, early February is when I'll let you know later on in the year too. But again, Michelle, as always, it was a great. I mean, it was awesome having you on, and we wish
Last but not least, can you do an Elvis impersonation? Because I think you would do a really good Elvis impersonation.
See, the thing, like, I've tried before to, like, do the lip thing, but I can't do that. Like, I just can't, do the Elvis.
You're good at this. You almost did it.
I just do the Release the Monkey, which is one of his famous, yeah, I can't. Yeah. Hubba hubba hubba, yeah, yeah. But I'm a big Elvis guy too, so yeah, that'll be cool to then go and do all that tour stuff. But again, you guys, we cannot thank Michelle enough for coming on, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck in your next competition. We obviously, I think you're gonna kill it. But again, you guys, this is Ryan Johnson, Didi on the spot, signing out. Have a great day, everyone.